This is why you should always look under your bed for monsters. In 2012, a young woman who was on the phone with her boyfriend walks downstairs to the lobby of her apartment building to collect her mail, and then she heads back up to her room. She sits on her bed to start sifting through the mail when she drops her phone and falls under the bed. She lies down on the ground to try to reach her arm out to grab her phone when she notices something horrible underneath her bed. A man is lying underneath her bed with his back to her. He is in a fetal position. She manages not to scream. She grabs her phone and says to her boyfriend, "Hey, I got a shower. I'll call you back." And then she quickly runs into the bathroom, locks the door, turns on the shower, and then jumps out of her first floor window. Once she is safely across the street, she calls the police who quickly arrive, and they go inside, and they come out with a deranged, skinny-looking man. Before they take him away, one of the officers walked over to her with a very grim look on his face. He looks at her and he just says, "We found him standing outside of your bathroom, holding a knife. He was waiting for you. This is why you should never open your door for strangers." In 2013, a woman let her dog out to use the bathroom one more time before bed. After only a few minutes, she starts hearing scratching on her door, which is typically the sound her dog makes when he's ready to come in. But it just seemed way too soon for him to be done being outside. So she decides to look through the people to make sure it really is her dog, but what she sees is terrifying. A deranged looking man is right outside her door, staring intently at her door handle, waiting for it to turn open as she is looking in horror and unable to do anything. He starts scratching at her door as hard as he can, never leaving his gaze from the door handle. She manages to stiffly scream. She backs away and realizes her dog is still outside. So she goes through the side window, but there is no sign of her dog, until she goes back to the door to see if maybe the man's moved. He hasn't moved. His mouth is open and he's staring directly at the people. Then he turns around and walks away. With a man gun, she discovers her dog unharmed. His leash had just been cut, but that means he had a knife. This girl literally lived a nightmare. A 17-year-old girl was watching TV late at night when her motion detector lights in her driveway suddenly went on. She assumed it was just an animal, so she got up, drew the blinds and went back to watching TV. Then a little bit later, it happened again. Before she could even react, she looks over and clear, she makes out a silhouette of a person right behind the blind who starts banging aggressively on the window. The girl stands up and goes, "I'm gonna call the cops." And the figure stops for just a second, sprints to the side door, and then he starts pounding even louder and screaming incoherently. The girl runs to the bathroom, barricades herself inside while she waits for the police, and then her worst nightmares comes true. She hears glass shatters in the other room. After a few minutes of silence, she opens the door just a crack to get a peek outside, and standing in her living room next to a broken window is some crazy old woman who looks over at her and started sprinting straight towards her. The lady comes smashing into the door and starts wailing on it until the police arrive. The police comes to take her away. Turns out she was a lunatic who had escaped the mental facility. If you ever find yourself in this situation, don't do what she did. In 2006, a group of cave divers decided they wanted to film a documentary in one of the most dangerous caves in the world. But only a few hours into their descent, a freak storm erupts on land, collapsing the entrance to the cave. In order to avoid the huge falling rocks that were coming in off the ceiling, they were forced to swim through one of the uncharted sections of the cave. After they've been diving for an hour, they luckily come across this island in the middle of a tunnel where they set up a camp and wait to be rescued. After 48 hours and still no signs of a rescue, the cameraman actually starts filming in case they don't make it out. At the same time, one of the crew members does something very stupid. If you scare easily, I wouldn't watch this video. In 2013, a mine explorer found this entrance to an abandoned cave and decided to have a look around. He decides to film his experience and upload it to his YouTube channel, where he has uploaded hundreds of other videos of him exploring mines. but he never once references the paranormal or ghosts or anything like that until this video. As soon as he steps foot inside, he tells the camera that he has a really uneasy feeling about being there and wonders if he should even keep going, but he does. Everything seems pretty normal until he gets to a section in the mine where there's a bunch of chains hanging down from the ceiling. He hears something in the back of the tunnel, so he pulls his flashlight out and he shines it towards the back. And he sees a chain swinging, but it shouldn't be, because there's no draft at all. And you can tell he's scared by the way he starts talking. Although he's totally freaked out, he wants to know what's causing the chain to swing. So he goes farther and farther into the mine until he hears something that sounds like people whispering in every direction. He gets totally freaked out and he runs out. Well, that's about it. If you like these stories, then you're in luck. There is a lot more on my channel and I make videos every single week. So subscribe and put your notifications on and you will be notified every time I make a new video. Until next time, thank you so much for watching and I hope I will see you around.